Well, hello there, everyone. It's Mazske Finance coming to you here again with another very special guest, and you'll recognize this young man. We have Lieutenant Bill here. So, Bill, hopefully this finds you doing well.
I am well. Thank you for calling me a young man. I don't hear that too much anymore, so I'll take it while I can for maybe a couple more years before I hit 40. But yeah, I'm excited to be back today and excited to talk a little bit more about credit cards and get into some specifics to give people a little bit more direction on maybe what kind of cards they should get, things like that.
So, all right, that sounds good. Because I like credit cards as well, get a lot of points, but I'll let you go ahead and start it off. So go right ahead, Bill, and talk about it a little bit.
All right, well, friendly reminder, if you haven't watched our first two videos that we did with Caleb, go check those out, preferably in order. I saw that the second one had a bunch more views than the first one for some reason, but they kind of build on each other, and it lays the groundwork for how you can take advantage of the stuff we're going to talk about today without abusing it, without paying interest. I won't belabor it, but yeah, go watch those videos. They're very short, like 10, 11-minute videos, a lot of good stuff in there. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about specific cards. We're going to focus, or I'm going to focus anyways, on Chase and American Express and kind of go from their top tier cards, kind of their middle tier cards, and then some of their no annual fee cards for people who just do not want to pay annual fees for credit cards, but still want to enjoy points and all the things that has to offer.
So, all right, that sounds good. And those other two videos where we talk about credit cards, I'll put the links to those in the description below. So
sounds good. All right, so the first card I'll talk about today, I'll hold it up real quick because I got mine, is the Chase Sapphire Reserve. This card is not for everybody, for sure. It has a $550 annual fee, but it's pretty easy to offset. Some of the key things about this card that people might enjoy: it has a $300 annual travel credit on it, which anybody can use. I mean, it goes for everything. Tolls, I've had a bunch of gas stations trigger it, hotel stays, flights, taxis, Uber, and anything that moves will trigger this travel credit. So it effectively cuts that annual fee by more than half. So after that $300, you only got $250 you need to make up. It comes with a priority pass if you like to fly. It's a great thing to have, and Chase's priority pass is a little bit different than Amex's. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But priority pass is amazing. You could make up that extra $250 in annual fee very easily, very quickly, just by going to a couple of lounges an hour before your flight or whatever, get a free meal, have a free drink, whatever you want. That adds up really quickly. The card also earns 3 times points on both travel and dining, which is awesome. And it has a 1.5x multiplier on redeeming the points. So Chase's points are called ultimate rewards. Many people refer to them in the credit card game as URs for short. So if you see UR, that's Chase points. And with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, every point that you redeem through their portal is worth 1.5 cents. So you have 100,000 points, you've got $1,500 in cash to book whatever you want to do for travel through them. Right now, the card has a 50,000 point welcome bonus for spending $4,000 in 3 months, which I think is pretty reasonable, easy to do. We talked about some ways that you could meet minimum spend without having $4,000 worth of normal organic spend in one of those previous videos. That's it for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. What do you think?
all right, that sounds pretty good. I've never had the Chase Sapphire Reserve. You're talking about the Reserve, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, and what I have is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I'll hold that up so everyone can see it. Chase Sapphire Preferred. It has that little chip too, like most cars do, to insert. So now I was looking up while you were talking, Bill, but right now that one was the very first card I got. When I got it back in, I think it was 2019, it had a 100,000 point bonus on it, I believe. Let me just double check this real quick. Actually, I didn't write it down there in my spreadsheet, but I'm pretty sure back when I got it, it was about 100,000 points. But currently, it has the bonus is 60,000 points when someone signs up, and there's a $4,000 spend to get those 60,000 points. Okay, the card does have an annual fee, and unless they've changed it, it is $95. Does that sound right to you, Bill?
Yep, it's still $95. I was looking up the Sapphire Preferred stats right before I talked.
Right. Okay. All right. That sounds good. some of the perks on it. It doesn't have as many perks as the reserve does, because the reserve has a much higher annual fee. But some of the perks it does have a $50 annual Ultimate Rewards hotel credit. So if you use a card in a hotel, you can get up to a $50 credit. If you buy travel through the Chase portal, they give you 5x points. So you spend $1 on travel, they give you 5 points. Other travels, 2 points. Other benefits like online grocery purchases, they give you 3 points. You can pay yourself back, and this has been going on for a while because I've used it a couple times. And pay yourself back means if you have 100 points, that's equal to $1, but they're giving you a 25% bonus. So you can pay off, say, $1.25 with 125 points, if I explain that right.
Yep.
They also give you 3 points on dining, 3 points on select streaming services. And I think they started this fairly recently, is on your anniversary, they'll give you a 10% anniversary points boost. And I don't think I've gotten that before. I think it's something new they've started. Does that ring a bell with you, Bill?
I didn't know about the boost, but if true, that's pretty amazing. Because like you said, this is on my list too of not must-haves, but for a $95 annual fee, it's so easy to make up. We'll just round it up to $100, right? It's so easy to make that $100 back. You already talked about the $50 hotel credit. If you could get that points boost, that would be awesome. The pay yourself back, which you can also do with the Sapphire Reserve, is great. A little known feature that not a whole lot of people use. But if you don't have any travel coming up or no other use for your points and you just got a bunch of points sitting around, use them to pay your credit card bill 1 month instead of using your cash, and then do whatever you want with that extra cash you got from it. So that points boost, that would be nice. I'm going to have to look into that.
Right. Sounds good. Because I pulled up the website. I was scrolling down reserve. I don't see it for the reserve, but it is under the Sapphire Preferred, the 10% point boost. But that was the very first card I got back when I started credit cards for this benefit. And it's been kind of my go-to card ever since then, except when I'm getting a new card to get the sign-up bonus. So anyway, I do love having that card. And I think I might have said this in another video, but when I first received this and started using it and paid it off, it really helped boost my credit score as well. Because my credit score now, because of my credit card use, always is up there around 800. So credit cards, as long as you pay your bill each month, can help improve your credit score.
Yeah, not only can they, but they will, as long as you're paying your bills off. The more, we talked about this a little bit more in previous videos, but the more credit cards you get, the higher your credit limit is, the higher your credit score is going to be, as long as you're paying off all your bills. So pretty solid. So I got one more Chase card, regular Chase card. That's not a business card, that I like for people who don't want to pay any annual fees. They just want a credit card, no fees, all earning. The Chase Freedom Unlimited. I used to have, I ended up getting rid of it just because I didn't use it that much, but it has no annual fee. It earns 5 times points. These are URs still on gas and travel, which is pretty nice. I'm pretty sure everybody would max out that 5 times gas points. That's a lot of money back. It earns 3 times on dining and then 1.5 points on everything else. So if you got some other cards or whatever that don't meet, like you're going to a mini mart or something like that, and you don't have another card that will earn more than 1 point per dollar, the Freedom Unlimited will get you 1.5. And it also has a $200 welcome bonus for spending only $500 in 3 months. So you get 40% of your first $500 of your bill paid off. Or if you're earning Ultimate Rewards, then you'll get that back in the form of 20,000 points. One thing I didn't really mention before is that obviously you can own, as you've mentioned, multiple of these cards, and they can, for lack of a better term, stack on each other. So if you got the Sapphire Preferred and you also want to get a Freedom Unlimited, those Freedom Unlimited points, you'll earn 1.5 on everything. But then when you transfer them over to your Preferred and use them through the portal, you're earning another 25% boost on top of that. So pool all your rewards together, put them on your highest card for cashing out, and then Chase is pretty good for that.
So, all right, that sounds good. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about mentioning that myself. And the card I was going to talk about that is very similar to the one you just talked about, the Chase Freedom Unlimited, is the Chase Freedom Flex card. And just kind of show the top part there, the Freedom Flex. So then the Chase Freedom Flex has the same benefit. There's no annual fee, just like the Unlimited. Once you spend 200, don't forget the minimum spend. Remind me of the minimum.
It's the same. It's $500 in 3 months to get the $200 cash back.
That's it. 500, and almost anybody out there can easily spend $500 in 3 months, and you get $200 cash back, or it's also 20,000 UR points, and 20,000 points to pay yourself back, be 25% boost on that, or maybe you used to get an airplane ticket, and that could be a free round trip ticket for you, perhaps, depending on where you're going to. Okay, but the Freedom Flex, I was planning to get both the Flex and get the Unlimited, but I think I saw where once you get one, you can't get the other one now or something like that. But I'm not positive on that. But the Flex is giving you 5% back each quarter in certain categories, which those categories are normally like a grocery store or home improvement store like a Lowe's or Home Depot, categories like that. They give 5% on travel, 3% on dining at restaurants, 3% on drugstores purchases, 1% on all other purchases. And something we got on, both my wife and myself have that same card, and we got them at different times. But my wife got, when she got her card, they had a special that was giving 5% in grocery stores for the entire year. So when there's a quarterly bonus of 5% for a grocery store, we don't get 10%, but we're getting 9% back. And that's kind of a cool feature. Spend $100 and kind of like you get $9 back. But if someone's out there and you're getting your very first card ever and you want to get either the Freedom Flex or the Freedom Unlimited, to me, they're both comparable and they're both good cards to get.
Yeah, absolutely. And they help build credit pretty easily too. Chase tends to have high credit limits, which is a good thing, right? You don't want to have $1,000 limit on a card and then meet that limit and you have it maxed out. So to get one of these no annual fee cards that for most people will have somewhere in the neighborhood of $10,000 to $15,000 as your credit limit on it, as long as you're not abusing it, is a great tool to have, and a nice thing to be able to use, like you were talking about. I'll go to the business cards next for Chase. Chase is notoriously hard to get a business card through. They tend to ask a lot of questions for actual businesses. The way I apply for mine is I run a sole proprietorship instead of putting down an LLC or a corporation or anything like that, because you're going to have to provide business documents for actual legal businesses. But a sole proprietorship, you just use your social security number as your tax number, and whatever side hustle you do can be your business. It doesn't have to be legitimate. You don't have to have tax returns for it for sole proprietorships. It's just whatever you do out of your garage or your office or whatever. So I have I'll block that off, the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card here. It's a good one. It has no annual fee. It has, let's see, this one has 5 times, it's similar to the Freedom Flex like you were talking about, but this one has business categories. So it would be like office supply stores, or I think it also has home improvement type stores for people that run construction businesses, things like that. But a really easy thing to take advantage of is just checking every quarter on what those categories are and maximize your points earning. And if you have a Chase personal card, you can link your business card up with it. And now your business card will earn ultimate reward points that you can transfer over to those other cards and boost them like we talked about if you have the preferred or the reserve. Right now, the Chase Inc. Cash has a welcome bonus, a little bit higher spend because it's meant for businesses that actually spend some money, but $7,500 in 3 months will get you 75,000 points, which is at least $750 in value more, like we talked about, if you use the boost from the other cards.
Okay, that sounds good. That leads me to a question. When you're talking about if you have a normal Chase card and a business card, you can link them together. And I have several business cards and I do get UR points, but if I log in, it's separate logins for my business or for my personal one. Is that is that normal, or what are you thinking?
So that's the normal way to set them up, is to have your personal cards on one and your business cards on the other. But on your business card login, there's a link accounts function. I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's pretty easy to find if you navigate just the main menu there. It says link accounts. You put in your other login information and it will import your personal cards into that one. But you have to do it that way. You can't import business into your personal account. You have to import your personal Chase cards into the business login that you have.
Okay. And knowing what you know, then you would recommend I do something like that?
I would, yeah, just because for you have a Chase Sapphire Preferred. So now all these points that you're earning on your business cards, you can just transfer over to your Chase Sapphire Preferred, and they're worth 25% more than they were if you were to leave them separate.
So, all right, that sounds good. I appreciate that, because as Bill was saying, any income you have from a side hustle can be counted as, business income. And I have real estate, so I have a total. I didn't bring them in with me, but I have, I think, 3 or 4 different business cards. I have the Chase Inc. Business Cash, which I think is one you were just talking about. I have the Chase. I abbreviated it, but it's the Business Preferred Inc. card. I think that's how it goes. And then I have one. It's actually a plane card for an airplane. It's United Explorer Business Card. And all these cards always get my name first, and we get my wife's name also. And then the card I just recently got for myself was the Chase Business Unlimited, which is similar to the card you were talking about, Bill. It's the same minimum spend of $7,500, and you get 75,000 points. And I don't have it in front of me, but I think the benefits are similar for both cards then.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the difference between the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited. So the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card you're talking about also earns 1.5 times points on everything. There's no rotating categories or anything like that. Just when in doubt, you swipe with your Chase Inc. Unlimited and you're earning 1.5 times points on everything.
Oh, all right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so you have what, one more card to talk about, or?
I'm done with Chase. So we talked about this a little bit in the previous video, but if you're going to start getting multiple credit cards, everyone that knows anything about the game, as we like to call it, will tell you to start with Chase because of their 524 rule. So I won't spend too much time talking about that, but just go Google the 5/24 rule if you didn't watch one of the previous videos, and make sure you understand it before you start applying for Chase cards. And one trick that doesn't come up when you're searching that I'll give people is you have to be under 524 to get new Chase cards, but business cards do not count against your 524 status. So if you're at 4 new cards in the last 24 months and you think one of these no annual fee business cards sounds good, you can snatch those up and still be at 424. But yeah, let's go move on to Amex. I personally like Amex better than Chase for one simple fact, and I'll talk about it with this first card I got. So this is my favorite card that I have, and if you've watched our previous video talking about investing, then you'll quickly understand why. So this is the Chase Sapphire, American Express Platinum Charles Schwab card. Not too many people know about this card. People hear Amex Platinum, they think that's all there is, the normal Platinum, but there's a couple different co-branded cards. The Schwab is my favorite for one simple fact, because you can cash out Amex membership rewards, or MRs as people refer to them as, at 1.1 cents per point. So as you earn Amex points, if you don't want to use them for travel or things like that, you can cash them out and it will go straight to your Schwab investment account. And then you can buy stocks, or if you have a Roth IRA with them, do that. So I love it. Membership reward points are pretty easy to earn. I'll talk about how to earn them quickly with other cards. And Amex also has a bunch of other easy ways to earn. We didn't talk about referrals with Chase because Chase is a little bit harder to refer with, but Amex is very easy to refer with, and you can usually earn up to 55,000 points a year per card, which cashed out through Schwab is over $600. So that's nice. But I'll get into some of the other details of Schwab Platinum. This is the part that's hard to swallow for most people. The annual fee is almost $700. It's $695 now. They just increased it a couple months ago. And I'll plug this now. If you're active duty military, you do not pay that annual fee. So if you're active duty military and you're thinking about getting an Amex card, you used to have to tell them you were active duty military by applying for SCRA benefits. No longer. They automatically run your social through the DoD database, see if you're active duty, never charge you an annual fee until you leave the service. So amazing card to have. This card has 3 different $200 credits. One of them is the Fine Hotels and Resorts credit, which can be difficult to use because most of those hotels fall in like the $600 to $1,000 a night range. But there are many of them that are at or just above $200, which you can get basically a almost free hotel stay, and it has normally a dining credit or some kind of property credit with it. It also has a $200 airline credit, which people may find tough to use, but there's plenty of good uses out there for it if you Google Amex airline credit and how to get the best use out of it. You'll find a lot of good stuff online about that. And then it has one of my personal favorites, the $200 per year in Uber Cash. So every month you get $15 linked, as long as you link your card in your Uber account, to use either for rides or on Uber Eats, which is what I love to do, especially when I'm on the road and I need a quick meal in a pinch. I'll just go on Uber Eats, order pickup somewhere, get a free meal or two. And in December, the $15 boosts up to $35. So if you got relatives over or family get-togethers in December and you got an Amex Platinum, $35 in free food is a nice thing to have. You also get the priority pass with this one. I promised to talk about this, so I'll talk about it now. The Amex priority pass is not as good as getting one through Chase because there are certain busy airports that don't have lounges in busy terminals. So there's a list you can look up online of priority pass restaurants that are in airports that will give you, I can't remember how much it is. It's right around $30 per visit. So you can go to these restaurants, as long as they're on that list, use your Chase priority pass and get a $30 free meal. And at most airport restaurants, that's good enough to get you like a burger and a beer or water or whatever you want. So that's my take on the priority pass. This card also earns 5 times points on flights, which is nice. Either booked through Amex, through their travel portal, or directly with the airline. So you can just go to delta.com or United or whatever and book straight with them using your Platinum card and get 5 points per dollar spent, which is awesome. Okay, so the welcome bonus on this one right now is a crazy 125,000 points, membership reward points, which even if you don't have the Schwab Platinum version, you just get the regular one. That's worth $1,250 at 1 cent per point, which is pretty modest. You can get better value than that. But that basically pays the annual fee for almost 2 years just from the welcome bonus. If you wanted to keep the card, and you do have to pay it. But I love it for that cash out redemption. So 1.1 cents per point. So every 100,000 points you get, you cash it out. That's $1,100 straight to your Schwab account. And that's free investment money for you to do whatever with. I've built up a pretty good amount in our Schwab accounts just from cashing out through Amex.
Huh. Okay, that all sounds pretty good. And myself, when I got started, I heard about the the Chase and Amex, about the 524. So I went strictly with Chase. And I started in 2019, but then I got quite a few free vacations out of it for various things. But then, of course, COVID impacted my travel in 2020, and I guess into 2021 also. But an Amex card I did get, because I shied away from Amex, mainly because even though I'm retired military, I do have to pay the annual fee with Amex, and some of those cards do have high fees. Right. But a few years back, I had gone through 3 or 4 Chase cards. I got some Chase business cards. And I don't think I'd met you yet, Bill. So I think I was talking to Caleb, and I was like, I'm trying to figure out what card to get next. And Caleb sent me a link on a card. And I read that link, and I was like, this card sounds pretty good. And what it is the American Express Hilton Honors card, Hilton Honors Aspire card. Okay. And that does have an annual fee, and it's not quite as pricey, but it's still pricey. It's an annual fee of $450. All right. So if you're going to get it, you got to make sure you use it. All right. So if someone signs up for it now, they get 150,000 Hilton Honors bonus points if they spend $4,000 in 3 months. So 150,000 points for spending $4,000. That's not too bad. But one question for you: if you compare Hilton Honors points or Amex points to Chase UR points, am I correct that Chase UR points are a little bit better than Amex? Point for point, they're slightly better with Chase.
So URs and MRs are pretty close to each other. I think URs might have the slight edge just because of the wide variety of things you can use them on, and the fact that with the Sapphire Reserve, you get that 50% points boost or 25% with the preferred. You don't get that with any Amex cards. There's no way to boost your points. What you earn is what you get, other than the Schwab Platinum 10% cash out bonus. But so you were asking, so Hilton Honors points, great thing.
They're separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're different, right?
Right, and they're not worth quite as much as regular MRs. Hilton Honors points generally cash out or are used at around 0.5 cent per point, which is roughly 50% of the value of Amex MRs.
Okay, all right, that's right. I remember reading that a couple years ago, I think. All right, so with this Hilton Honors card that I have, because of the $450 fee, I've debated canceling it different times or downgrading it so I wouldn't have to pay that fee. But one thing that you can get, if you get the card now, once you spend, it doesn't say it's an additional $2,000, but it says earn 130,000 Hilton Honors bonus points plus a free night reward after you spend $2,000 in purchases within the first 3 months. So I don't know if that's on top of the sign-up bonus or is it kind of combined with it? I'm really not sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it's an addition to the bonus right now. There's there's 3 different Amex Hilton cards. There's a no annual fee one. There's the, what's the middle one called? Starts with an S, can't remember. Won't belabor it, but the Aspire is the top of the line one that has the higher annual fee, $450 a year, like you said. But that also has a free night every year. So every year from day one, when you get the card, you'll get a free night. And then every card anniversary after that, you'll get another free night. And it's to be used on any standard room at any Hilton property in the world. So you can go look for a Hilton night that, would normally cost $800 or $900 and instead use this free night. And now you've just gotten a free $800 hotel room for the night.
Right, that's very true. That's kind of what I like about it, because even though my travel got cut back, each year I've been able to do a little bit of traveling, and I'd stay many times like in a Hampton Inn, and Hampton is owned by Hilton because Hamptons are inns are everywhere, and their standard room charge might be $179. So if I stay 2 or 3 nights, that kind of works out for the make up for the annual fee. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm coming to you live from a Hampton Inn right now. I'm staying in a Hampton Inn for work for the next month or so. So yeah, earning a bunch of points here because of that. 2 other things with the Aspire card that I don't think we touched on yet. On top of the free night, easy ways to offset the annual fee. It has the $250 airline credit through Amex, which is more than half the annual fee. So look up how to use airline credits. There's a bunch of different ways. But that's a nice one. Most people forget about that with the Aspire card for whatever reason. And then they also have a $250 a year resort credit. So this is one of my favorite things to combine the free nights with. If you can find a Hilton resort, and when you go to look at any Hilton properties, just type in, I start with the state, right? The state you want to go to visit or something nearby if you want to do a staycation. Search all of the hotels in that state. And then when you go to filters, you can check the resort box and it will only show you resorts. And then you just look for a standard room to use your free night at. And when you go stay at the hotel, you can eat, drink, do whatever you want to charge $250 worth of stuff to your room. And when you check out of the hotel and you use your Aspire card, that $250 will get credited back. And if your bill is more than $250, so you go over and you're at $300, you'll get $250 of that back. And Amex is very good about giving credits almost immediately. Their terms and conditions say like 4 to 8 weeks or something like that. I don't think I've ever had one of these credits take more than 3 or 4 days to get back, not weeks.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds pretty good, because one thing with those free nights, if I remember right, when you get a free night, you have to use it within that calendar year. But then because of COVID, they allowed the nights to accrue. So I've been able to accrue, I think, 3 or 4 nights for myself and 3 or 4 for my wife. So what we're doing, and I think Bill helped me out with this and Caleb helped me out with this, we're taking a trip next month where we're staying at a resort in Florida. And it's just kind of a getaway from our little castle we live in to go to a resort area. So we're staying there just for 2 nights, so the nights be free. And that $250 resort credit, I checked out their menu there's like 3 restaurants in that resort area, and I can eat breakfast, lunch, dinner if I want to, and for both my wife and myself. And our final bill after like 6 meals or something would be right around $250. So that means we'll eat basically for free. And then we're actually going to be traveling out of country early in the summer. And the remaining nights we have, there'll be another like 4 free nights we have. The country we're going to has a really beautiful Hilton hotel. It's not a resort, but it's just a really nice hotel downtown in like the downtown part of that city. So we're going to stay there. It has like a rooftop pool and it's just a real nice building. So we're going to stay there probably for 5 or 6 nights. And I think I got it figured out where I can get all 6 nights free by using this card. The 4 nights I've accrued plus other free nights that I got somehow. So, but to finish off this card, it does give you the diamond status, which is no big deal. But if I go to a Hampton Inn, they like, oh, you're a diamond member. They give me a free bottle of water and a little bag with a snack or something. So it's a little perk, I guess. Oh, then there's also parking close to the front door for diamond members. So
yeah, if you go to one of the hotels that have the diamond parking spots, that's nice. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to talk about that because that was one of my favorite things about getting that Aspire card. If you watch my previous video, you know I was stationed in Europe for a couple of years. Being a Hilton Diamond member overseas is drastically different than being one in the States. In the States, you don't really get recognized as a Diamond member very often. You're not going to get crazy upgrades usually or anything like that. The upgrade rate is very low. Me and my family traveled to multiple different Hilton hotels in different countries in Europe. And I can't remember a time where we weren't upgraded to some ridiculous room that was, 50% to double the cost of what we would have paid for it. Not only that, but if you find one of the Hiltons that has an executive lounge, then you get to eat and drink for free in the executive lounge while you're there. And a lot of those closed during COVID, but it's not going to be forever. They will open back up, I'm sure, soon. So diamond status is nice if you can find Hilton hotels that have lounges or travel overseas to use it.
That sounds good. And that reminds me, like this resort we're going to, I had to call American Express to reserve it because of those free nights. And the lady I talked to, when I told her where I wanted to stay at, she responded, she kind of interrupted me and responded saying that's her favorite place that she's been to with a Hilton resort to stay at, which is kind of cool to hear that because she was at somewhere in, I forget what state, the Midwest somewhere when I talked to her. But she also told me I get free nights with their standard room, which is like maybe 2 queen size beds and a partial ocean view. But she checked and said it's rare they sell out of their king size bed with the full ocean view. So she would put something in the computer to recommend me for the upgrade. And said, odds are I'll get a room upgrade when I check in. And she also said, since I'll be driving there and not flying, that she would put something in the computer. Their normal check-in time, I think, is 4 p.m. And she would put something in there. I'm driving and they recommend I could check in, say, at 1 p.m. versus 4 p.m. And she told me just to call the day before to see if they will honor that for me, because that means I could drive there a little bit earlier in the day, drop our luggage off in the room, and then have the rest of the afternoon to ourselves in the beach, the pool, or whatever we want to do. So that'd be kind of cool. So there are, even though there is that annual fee of $450, there are enough perks you can offset it. Because you did mention the airline credit, and I have that for, I think it's for Southwest Airlines. You have to pick your airline to get that, use that credit with. I think it's this card I have that. But then because of COVID, I really haven't flown in the last 2 years, so I haven't been able to use it. But coming up, I do plan to use it. So, but we'll see. All right, so I'll turn it back over to you, Bill. Do you have any more cards to talk about, or?
Yeah, my last one, another one of my favorites for Amex. This is the Amex Gold card. There she is. This is actually the rose gold one. You can get the regular gold card or the rose gold card. It's kind of got like a pink hue to it. You're not a cool Amex kid unless you got the limited edition rose gold card. So obviously my wife and I both have one. But the gold card stats, so only a $250 annual fee. I say only because it's still relatively high, but compared to the $700 platinum fee, very low. And it's pretty easy to offset. This one has $120 Uber credit per year. That's $10 a month, spaced out evenly over all 12 months. And if you have both a platinum and a gold card, you can put both of them on your Uber account, and now you're cash taxed and you've got $25 a month to spend. It also has a separate $120 dining credit. There's a couple of different places to use it. I think it's like Ruth's Chris, Shake Shack or something like that, and then 1 or 2 other restaurants. But the place I use it is Grubhub. It also has Grubhub on it. Grubhub, pretty similar to kind of like a poor man's Uber Eats or DoorDash. Very easy to find Grubhub restaurants in your area and get. I use it to get like a Subway sandwich or a burrito somewhere, something like that. That usually comes out to $9 or $10, and just get 1 free meal a month with that. This card earns 4 times points on dining and groceries, which is nice because everybody buys groceries. I think this is the best Amex card to buy groceries with. And you can spend up to $25,000 a year to get 4 times points. I don't know anybody that spends $25,000 a year on groceries, so should be pretty easy to stay under or at that limit. And then my favorite thing to do is use my gold card to do restaurants or groceries, get those 4 times points, and then cash them out to my Schwab account. So now I've really gotten 4.4 points per dollar spent when you use the Schwab boost. Right now, this card has a $75,000 welcome bonus, which is the highest it's ever been for spending. I think it was $4,000 in 6 months. The gold card gives you a little bit longer to spend, but 75,000 points is enough to pay that annual fee for 3 years in a row. That's $750 worth. So a great card to have, one of my favorites.
That sounds pretty good. Well, this kind of leads me to 2 questions for you then. Say with Amex, I just have the Hilton's Honors Aspire card currently. It has a $450 annual fee. Knowing what you know about me, and you know a little bit about me, but so if you were to recommend another Amex card, do you think I should I don't know the term, I think downgrade this card to a different Amex card, or cancel this card and get a different Amex card? Or keep this card and get a different Amex card? What would be your recommendation?
I would say as long as you're getting the value out of the Aspire that we talked about, using that free night every year, not letting it expire, using your resort credit. And if you don't use the airline credit, I mean, you're not really flushing $250 down the toilet because you didn't travel. So it's not like you wasted it. But that one can kind of go by the wayside. And that's usually the first thing that people tend to ignore with the Amex cards is the airline credit, because they tend to be notoriously hard to use. But I would keep it if you're using that free night every year, because a free night at a nice property is worth more than $450. And then you just get the resort credit to eat while you're eat for free while you're there. And that's usually where people get in trouble at hotels. Even if they use points to stay somewhere, or they get a good deal on the room rate, they will eat at the hotel or spend all this money on food and drinks while they're there, and then just charge it to their room. And then before you know it, you've got a $500 to $1,000 bill cashing out, especially if you go with a family. So having that $250 resort credit is nice. So I would personally keep it, but if you weren't getting that value out of it, I wouldn't cancel it, because canceling cards has a negative impact on your credit. What you can do with some of these higher cards, with both Chase and Amex, we didn't really talk about this. You can either upgrade or downgrade different cards. So with Chase, just about all of their Freedom personal cards, you can upgrade to either the preferred or the reserve, and vice versa. If you have the reserve and you don't want to pay the annual fee anymore, you can downgrade to one of the no annual fee ones, and that does not negatively impact your credit at all. There's no cancellation showing up. It's not closing that account and opening a new one. I believe you'll keep the same credit card number. It'll just come on a new card of the different variety. So if you wanted to, you could downgrade that one to the no annual fee Hilton card. Doesn't have a whole lot of benefits, but you're using it for free every year, so no big deal.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds pretty good, because odds are I'll probably end up keeping it and then maybe getting just a different Amex card, just to use. But then going back to Chase for a minute, then I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And it's been a while since I've read this, but if I remember correctly, if I can't just apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and you can only have one of the 2 cards at one time. So I think what I could do, let me know, I'll say this and let me know if I'm correct. I could take my Sapphire Preferred, I could downgrade it to a lower level card, and then after 2 years, apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I should get approved at that point. Is that correct?
Kind of. So this is a common misnomer about Chase. You are allowed to have both the preferred and the reserve. There's no rule that says you can't have both. You said 2 years. I can't remember if it's 2 years or 4 years. I might be mixing up 48 months and something else. I don't know, but you can look it up. Just look up Chase lifetime language. I won't try and do that now while we're on the call, but look up Chase lifetime language. As long as it's been, I'll just use 4 years. As long as it's been 4 years since you got the welcome bonus for your Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can now get the welcome bonus for the Sapphire Reserve. So most people just get one, wait that 4 years. Instead of upgrading or downgrading, they get the other card, get another welcome bonus, as long as you're, waiting that time limit, like we said.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to know. I'll look that up because when we got the preferred card, because my wife and I each got one, it was back in the springtime of 2018. So it'll be another month or so. I'll be eligible for it to be 4 years, and another month or so after that, my wife will be eligible. But currently, I think I mentioned to you before we started recording, right now I'm using the Chase Business Unlimited card that has that $7,500 minimum spend with the 75,000 points. So I want to kind of max that out to get the points. I'll get one for my wife. We'll get those points. Then I may apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve and see if they'll give it to me and see what happens.
All right. So. Sounds good. That's all I got for cards. I have several others, but those are the ones that I think people can get the most value out of, the ones that are the easiest to use, and the ones that don't require you to have any kind of brand loyalty other than the Aspire card like we talked about.
So, all right, that sounds good to me. And odds are, like, my travel is going to start picking back up here this year, and which means I'm going to get more cards as time goes on. But then I'll probably branch out a little bit, maybe get something like the Capital One card or some of the other cards that are well known, but maybe they don't fall under, they're not a Chase card, but they'll still count towards the Chase 524, I believe. Does that make sense what I just said?
They should. They should count towards the 524. There was some stuff going around this year about people saying they didn't think a few of the, like the Chase Amazon card or some of the other ones didn't count towards 524, but I think those were just anomalies and not the rule, but rather the exceptions. So closing thoughts for me, if I had to pick one card from each bank to use, with Chase, I would probably pick the Chase Sapphire Preferred like you have, just because of the super low annual fee and the benefits that come with it. We don't have to go back over those again, but Chase Sapphire Preferred would be my number one Chase card. And then the Amex Gold, I think, has the best bang for the buck with Amex and allows you to basically offset the annual fee with the Uber and dining credits while also earning 4 times points on top of that and having that huge welcome bonus. So those are my 2 picks for people if you don't want to churn a bunch of credit cards and you just want to get a few.
So, all right, that sounds good to me. Now I'll go with those same 2 picks for me as well, so I won't rehash anything. So, all right, well, I think we've gone long enough for this video. So, Bill, once again, I do appreciate you for coming on this channel with me. We'll have to do this again sometime if you're open to it.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Sure. All right. Well, enjoy yourself staying in that Hampton Inn that you're in now, and go enjoy a good dinner. So, all right. Well, Mazske Finance will be signing out. Once again, thank you, Bill, and Bill will be signing out also. So, audience, we appreciate you watching. If you have any questions for either of us, more specifically questions for Bill, feel free to put them in the comments. And if he doesn't see it and answer it quickly, I'll shoot him a text and let him know about it. So, for both of us, Mazske Finance will be signing out.